big gratitude to all the people who were waiting patiently, and I apologize that you all had to wait for so long. And a big thank you to all the other people who might have finished their lunch and just come now. Okay? So not having to make your wait more, okay? We'll straight away deep dive into the topic at hand. So we've all heard about AI and machine learning and data models, and we all know that's the way forward, right? But the crux of the entire thing is how should we use it? Today even Amazon, Alexa or Google Talk, all of these have used AI and many other things in that same regard, but not many of them are fully successful or as successful as we anticipated them to be. The crux lies in how to use it for your business domain. So the technology is good, but how we use it is really the mool mantra of making it a success. So let's just move forward with this. So I'm going to focus on that. Now before I get down as to how we are supposed to use AI and machine learning, why do we even need it? Let's not overdo things, right? Why do we even need AI and machine learning? So if all of you can just take a look here. So India's credit versus the GDP stands at a 54%. Whereas for healthy economies, for fast growing healthy economies, it should be a good 80 to 100%. Now why is it that India is not giving out enough loans to their people? That's not the case. So if you see, in the previous month of December and November, the rate at which loans are being given is reducing versus the GDP. Now, many of you may find it shocking because many of you are big lenders here sitting in the crowd today, right? But it's actually reducing. Now, when the government wants to give loans, the consumers want to take loans, right? Then how is it that this is reducing? Why is it that the number of loans we give out or the quantum of loans we are giving out is reducing? We need to figure that out. Now, what we have seen is that in the last 7 to 8 years, there has been tremendous innovation in the space of selling loans, right? So we have co-lending models, we have digital apps, we have many, many different ways of selling loans. Today, digital apps selling loans are mushrooming left, right and center, and primary lenders are happy to use them to boost their sales, right? But in the space of collections and recovery, this is fairly slow compared to that. Similarly, we have this boost of data from GST, from ITRs, from credit bureaus, right? From reading data out of people's phones as well. So we have a lot of data. Again, that data is being used to sell loans and not to do collections and recovery. Now, if I tell you that the country has to grow giving away credit by 100%, which is where India is at today, growing to 100% is not going to be easy. You have to do something phenomenally different to achieve that. What is the environment in which we have to accomplish this? So the environment in which we have to increase loans, okay, is that we need to provide scalable collections. No credit department is going to give away loans at double the speed without having the confidence that this money is going to come back, right? Or a reasonable amount of money is going to come back, right? Then we have to simply change the fact that collections needs to keep the customer experience first. Really, maybe 15 years back in city, people used to teach me that don't do collections, you do customer service. Now, that name has changed from customer service to customer experience, right? We have a lot of competition and everything in the space of collections and all, and we need to learn from all our partners and understand that collections is now customer experience first. To get the money back or to always keep thinking the way the creditor thinks has to be second priority. The first priority has to be customer experience. So that's the environment in which I have to do better collections. Now, if you see point number 5 here, very interesting, okay? Every time the government tells you or encourages you to give more and more loans, they are always going to couple it with a lot of regulation. It's like bread and butter, it goes together, right? So if the government tells you, give away loans, priority sector lending, A, B, C, D, and give more loans, that's all they want because that's how their GDP is growing, right? If they ask you to give more loans, they are going to put more regulations. It's been so evident in the last 8 months. There have been close to 5 new circulars on how to control and tame co-lending, right? Data cannot be with the co-lender, it has to be with the primary lender, the branding has to be with the primary lender, etc., etc., etc. Right? So all these regulations will come because they want you to grow. Right? So going further, see, if I have to bring a phenomenal change, it's not easy to bring a change. Everybody knows that I have lunch at this time and I have to come at this time. If I have to change the timings, it's going to take me a lot of effort. But the most difficult change can come if you ask people to do it in their natural way. Right? So if I want all of you to be relaxed here, I want all of you to be really comfortable, I want all your attention, you know what's the most easiest thing for me to do? Probably give you all a stool to keep your foot on right now. And I will have all your attention. Why? Because you're comfortable there. That's how we watch television at home, don't you? Right? I will have your attention, I will have your smile, and I will have your enthusiasm. Right?
The customer, we use super micro segments, thereby practically making it personalized messages to the customers. Now, whether those personalized messages are via SMS, WhatsApp, emails, or actually someone going, or even a telecaller speaking to the customer. But these are personalized messaging that has to be used. And only because you will do it digitally, i.e. using a data model, growing to a machine learning, and finally artificial intelligence, because you're going to use that, right, you can make super micro segments. So we are literally talking about a segment which, say, a 1 million loan accounts in itself could have maybe 15 to 20,000 different segments where there is personalized messaging happening. Now, if I start telling you about all the micro segments that you have to make, I will need maybe 2 or 3 days to explain you that. What you see here now are suggested micro segments, okay, which are used. So I'm sure all of you will kind of agree with it. There are certain customers who are self-cure. Why? Because their willingness to pay and ability to pay is very high. But they probably changed their job or changed their city or changed their bank account, and that's why they got delinquent. The second segment could be a customer in short-term distress. Willingness to pay is high, but ability to pay is low. Similarly, a distressed customer where willingness to pay is high to medium and ability to pay is really low. And then you have the really, I've tried to kind of give you all the top to bottom, okay, evasive, uncooperative customer where the willingness to pay is absolutely not there. Now, in my case, I promised myself I would not try and sell a product to you, but I'm just a little stuck, I have to use the word, okay. So, if you're using the incredible platform, we do these super micro segments for you. And then using these super micro segments, the way we have to treat the customer may be different. So if you look at a self-cure customer, just send him the payment link, he will pay. End of the story. Send him a link to update his ENACH form, he'll pay. Or if you have the rock bottom which says uncooperative customers, you know you have to go for legal. Or you have the second last one which says distressed customer, but ability to pay is low for a temporary period. You may want to counsel him or offer him a settlement of some type, right? So the moment the incredible platform is able to do these micro segments for you, or then you can decide how to treat these customers, but remember they have to be super micro segments, right? Let's not try and generalize them. When you use your machine learning, don't try to generalize customers into very large buckets. And to
ensure that they are super micro segments, you have to do it digitally. You cannot try and do like in India, like don't try and do a jugaad and put like 100,000 customers in one micro segment, right? Now, just one more thing here. It's very important to understand that once you put it into a micro segment, you go make the collections attempt and you will again learn. That's where the machine learning comes. So if you see that orange line that passes through the bottom, right, that's what's telling you that once you micro segment it, do the messaging, understand the responsiveness which comes along with the platform, understand the responsiveness, churn it into machine learning back and again do the micro segments again. Right? So it's very important to learn from what you're doing. So a very simple example that you all must have seen with your Alexas or your Google Talk or your Siri, that if you start speaking to them in Hindi, they start replying back in Hindi because they've just learned that you speak Hindi. Or a chat GPT today, as is the buzzword, right? So what are we saying? This is your traditional collections flow. You have delinquent accounts, you send pre-due reminders, you have delinquent accounts, those delinquent accounts go to a telecaller can't solve it, it goes to a field agent, your normal field agents can't solve it, you go to specialized treatments, settlements, restructuring, rewrite, you'll do ABCD, different other things, right? All that we are recommending here is this change. So once you send your pre-due reminders, you send your delinquent accounts, then you need to do smart collections using your data models, growing up to machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now what do you do in smart collections? You will have credit counseling, robocalls, sending payment links, and self-service for the customer. Please understand, we actually did a lot of surveys on the data that we had on actual real delinquent customers. And you know, nobody likes to entertain collectors on the phone in person, and they are actually willing to use the payment link and pay. Why? Because thanks to the government of India, today UPI and payment links are extremely prevalent, easy to use. We have the infrastructure to do that, and we really, really need to leverage it. And I'm just refreshing your memory again. Why do I want to do AI and machine learning? Why? Because I want to increase the domestic credit to the private sector of India by 100%, so that my economy grows. Right? And that's the reason we have to do these phenomenal changes across the board. Now, the collections teams are not new to this. About 10 to 15 years back, you all did a phenomenal change. Does anybody want to tell me what that phenomenal change was? You all did do it. So earlier, we never used to have telecollections, say 15 years back. You all did a phenomenal change. You all went against all rules and said, no, delinquent customers will pick up my phone. Delinquent customers will talk to me on the phone. And they did. Right? Because everybody likes to take a loan to grow. Nobody defaults really willingly so much. Right? So they will pick up your phone if you're making their life easy. And that has to be the way of implementing data models, machine learning and AI into collections. Keep it natural. Keep it absolutely focused on the customer and how you service the customer for him to pay the money. How do you make it easy for him to pay the money? How are you helping him to pay your money back? So if you know, if from super micro segments you can understand that the willingness is there, then you don't need to be harsh. You do not need to go legal. Legal takes away a lot of your money. And what is the return out of it, one has to see. Right? It's an expensive proposition. So, based on these micro segments, you can decide. But if you have an uncooperative customer who is just absolutely zero willing to pay, then also you don't need to go harsh, because you have to keep the customer experience in mind. You have to think about, how do I consolidate his debt? How do I offer him a settlement? Because by we I mean all NBFCs and banks, we earned a lot of money out of that guy on interest. This is the time for me to cut my losses, or in fact, stop my gains, is how I would like to say, and settle the account. Right? So based on your super micro segments, you can actually decide the most favorable way of getting your money back. And the only change, sorry, you switched off my presentation. Thank you. Right? So we aren't rocking the boat. Do not rock your boat just because you want to have AI and machine learning in your collection teams. You don't need to rock the boat. You just need to start doing smart collections in this manner. And you don't have to remove telecalling and field agents. Nobody says that, because there will be residual customers that will flow into these two. But what you will do is that when your sales and credit starts to sell 100% more loans, right, it will not have a exact proportionate impact on your telecalling and on fields. You increase your loans by 100%, that doesn't mean you have to double up your telecalling team. You probably will need to increase it by 10 or 15% if smart digital collections is implemented correctly. Right? Now, there's a very, very important thing in all of this. See, with regulations and with the savviness of even huge banks, even public sector banks are now moving to cloud and that kind of an understanding that cloud is safe, etc. We have to understand that our clients, I mean, if I'm talking to the vendors and collection partners and aggregators, we have to understand that if not already, your clients will demand you to be paid only on results. Your remuneration will be 100% on result. If you recollect, say 10 or 12 years back, you had telecalling agencies coming and telling you, we'll do all your setup. Only if I collect, then you pay me. And they showed you the results. That's exactly what's going to happen even with digital smart collections. So here at Enterprise Tiger and Incredible, okay, we offer the same. We do not want any money, there's no setup cost, there's nothing at all. We make your micro segments, we use your own channels to do communication. We make the micro segments, and you pay us if and only if your customer pays you. Otherwise, you don't pay us anything, right? That's all from my side. I just want to keep like about, say, 2 minutes in case you all, 2 or 3 minutes in case you all have any questions. She'll help you with the mic. So if there are any questions I can take for you all, I'll be happy to do that. You all can just raise your hands if you all have any questions. Okay. Yeah, excuse me. There's one time.
So is the one with all the questions. I think you get extra brownie points.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
My name is Anand Krishnan from Mumbai Finance. First, I would like to congratulate you. The way you have articulated and summed up this entire thing, I'm sure a lot of people out here will agree with me. So it was very wonderfully done. I have a question as to in this whole solution, is this something that you provide as a platform, as a service?
Yeah.
Or is it outsourced to your organization?
Yeah, so we provide it as a platform service, okay. So what happens is we have a couple of different models, right? So if we have a SaaS-based platform as well as a platform that we can come and install on your own servers. Okay. So both models are available.
Yes, because the data security being, I mean, of late, there has been a lot of things happening around data security. Yeah. So as I understand, you can provide this as an on-prem model.
Correct.
And yet have it as a the last one which you said, pay you and we collect.
Yeah,
you pay, we collect,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So what we mean by this is that irrespective of the IT infrastructure model, when in which model number one, you give me the data, I have my own SaaS platform where I run and the customers pay you the money, right? Model number two, where I install my platform on your servers. We don't take any data out of your servers at all, zero. We run it there and then also the customer pays you. In both models, you remunerate us if and only if the customer pays.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. I'll be happy to take any more questions.
There's another question.
Sure. Lovely.
But before that, sir, would you please tell me your name and which organization you represent?
I think I just mentioned. My
He
name
just
is Anand
mentioned it,
Krishnan
yeah.
from Mumbai Finance.
Yes.
And I'm waiting for the brownies.
So it's on me. Thank you so much, sir. Before we start, sir, what's your name and which organization do you represent?
So hi, this is Kapil from 5S Digital. Brilliant presentation. Congratulations for that. You spoke about technology being used. In terms of building the AI or machine learning models that you spoke about, how are you training or leveraging past behavior for future actions when it comes to poking based on organization's policy versus the concern somebody would have had? Let me give you an example. I have my EMIs hitting on 4th of every month, but my payday is 8th of every month. What would you do in terms of model or tech-led approach? Would you honk me on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or you would wait till the 8th? And how do you know what am I going to do in future?
Sure. So I'm going to start talking about Incredible a bit more to answer your question, right? So first of all, Incredible or Enterprise Tiger is the name of the company, Incredible is the name of the platform. We are very clear about one little thing here, that it's a collaborative approach, which means that I will study and collaborate with the people who are actually selling the loans, designing the credit policy, etc., before putting the micro segments into place. So we do that first bit of learning. So just to kind of give a very fast answer to your question, which is actually a very valid and warrants a longer answer. Okay, so what we would typically do is that we do a lot of nudges to the customer. So we are not always knocking at their door, but we do nudges. So we'll send them a message saying, what is your preferred language, please update. Okay. Ideally, when would you like us to present your e-match, etc. So these kind of nudges we do and get the data from the customer, because again, no offense